So I avoid stock bar chords like the plague. Those big bar chords, the standard bar chords, which is a big thing for a lot of people. I mean, it is. I don't really play much. I do, if I do, I'm only playing pieces of it. So depending on what was going on in a band, I may chunk on those lower strings, or I may play on the top strings. But really, the honest to God truth is that in many band situations, and this is what I teach a lot of people, there are better chords to use. So one thing that I've watched a lot of players do is to play what would typically be, let's say, in key of A, playing a bar chord like that, is to simplify it and actually use your thumb. Hendrix did that a lot, using his thumb to bar chords. They play that kind of a chord, which is cleaner, and in the context of a band, when you've got all this mid-range competition happening, playing a chord like that will stand out a little bit more. You won't need to have quite so much volume to have it stand out, because you're not competing with every other instrument, especially if you're in a band, and I've been in bands with horn sections and keyboards, and there's a lot of instruments fighting for that mid-range sort of territory in the sonic territory in a band. So if I'm going to change, I'm going to change the chords that I'm going to play. I'm going to use different voicings. I also tend to, in a context like that, especially if there's another guitar player or a keyboard player, instead of playing that A chord like that, I'm going to go up an octave. So I'll be doing some things like that, comping on things like that. Also love different kinds of chord inversions, and playing chords that have slightly different voicings. They may be, as an example, here's another A chord. Here's that A bar chord. I'll go up and I'll do an inversion which comes out of the Western swing department. Again, I learned this from Tom McComb. And play a voicing like that is a little bit simpler, and it's high up, and it's got the lowest note is a different note in that chord, and it's not just the root note. That sounds different. There's lots of different ways to do it. I also love open chords, even playing notes on higher strings. Again, that's an A sound, and it's got that suspended sound to it. That's a beautiful sound, and it sounds great in a band context, especially if the other guitar player or a keyboard player is playing something a little lower. I'm going to go up higher. So those are the kinds of things that I would be teaching, is how to stand out like that and play different chords and chord voicings. Even if you're playing a solo guitar part, so there's different ways that you can use hybrid picking or just different parts of chords and move those things around on the guitar. So that's the kind of things that you would be learning with me, and it makes all the difference to me. It makes you go from just being a basic chord playing guitar player, which is nothing wrong with that. Some people are perfectly content doing that, but students of mine, I'm going to push them to do something else a little bit more. So those are the kinds of things that you would definitely learn with me. In terms of soloing, I'm going to try to push you out of the basic pentatonic box. Again, I'm trying to get you moving in different ways. So pentatonics, still, that's a minor pentatonic with some added notes in there. It's just going up a little bit higher on the guitar. So those are the kinds of things I'm going to talk about. For people that are playing blues, and we will, if you work with me, you're going to learn those basic forms, because I think that's a foundation that really needs to be understood. I'm going to talk about adding in major sounds. So instead of just being in a minor pentatonic, and we are going to learn why a minor pentatonic works when you've got chords that have major thirds in them. So there is going to be some theory in the work that we're going to do. But there is a reason why that works that way. But there are other sounds there that you can use, that you can pull out of those chords. So instead of just having that minor pentatonic sound, we're gonna move into some major sounds, which allows you to add in some other things, some more country type sound. You know, things like that are really going to make a difference and make your solos stand out. So those are the key things. One of the things that I do a lot is teach people also how to play slide, and I do play slide largely in standard tuning, and part of that is I don't need to go and have an entirely different guitar that's tuned in a different way. I can do it just with the guitars that I have, and then but that requires that you think about it in a slightly different way. One thing that is real key is that you need to know the fretboard. You need to know where notes are in relation to one another. Where are those root notes? If you're in the key of A, where are your A's across the guitar? Where's your flatted seventh, which is going to be a whole step down from your root? And where are all those notes that are sort of in between? You have minor thirds and major thirds, and so knowing the fretboard for standard playing with your fingers will really allow you to be a good slide player as well. But there are some techniques. I'm muting behind the slide. I'm muting with my palm. I do a lot of muting with my fingers. So that allows me to play individual notes in places where there aren't adjacent note choices, and that's an important thing. So we would work a lot on that. So I believe that my forte is really taking people and taking them to the next level as a player. So out of the boxes of all kinds, whether it's bar chord box and minor pentatonic box, you know, we're going to do some other things. And so if that sounds like something that you're really interested in doing, come see me and we will figure out how to make it happen. As I said, I will do virtual lessons with people, and I love to coach and to help people to become the player that they really want to be. Thanks a lot.